Real estate investment is about the safest investment in the world at the moment. But disputed properties have landed many people in trouble. Do you know you could buy gbese with your hard-earned money? Sometimes, the gbese will even need you to spend more than they invested. If you are watching this, you are destined for success. Today's alarm is about a property in one of the biggest cities in Nigeria. I just hope you have not invested in this property in question. Good day, and welcome to Encumbered Properties Red Alert. I am Rex Chinedu Akwawike, your host. On this show, we bring you details of encumbered properties, disputed properties, or properties that are for any reason not available for sale, to enable you make informed decision about real estate investment. Let's get the show started. The Supreme Court recently dismissed an application by the Lagos State government seeking to interpret a 12-year-old judgment related to a land dispute in one of the state's biggest towns. The court's decision has been seen by many as a victory for the Shangisha Landlords Association, who have been fighting for the land in question for a long time. As the case continues to unfold, it has highlighted the need for transparency and accountability in land ownership and administration in Nigeria as a whole. However, the outcome of this dispute will have significant implications for property rights and the rule of law in Lagos State. The property in question is situated in the popular Magodo area of Lagos State. Fingers are crossed as events unfold. Please, let's seek an expert opinion on this. Okay, we are here to seek an expert opinion like always, and of course, our super guest in the building, Mr. Madueke Enwere, the founder in Encumberedproperties.com, a very senior police officer and a property lawyer. It's my pleasure once again.
Right.
We are here again. Okay, please, I just want us to talk about, the case in Lagos State between the Shangisha Landlords and the Lagos State government. How would you react to this legal battle between the Shangisha Landlords Association and the Lagos State government?
In this case, is unfortunate that the Lagos State government is the black sheep in the circumstance. Following up on the history of the disputes between the Shangisha Landlords Association and the Lagos State government, this crisis has spanned over 37 years now. A situation where a government, supposedly a responsible government, takes over property belonging to private individuals, ejected them, leveled their developed properties in the name of using it for overriding public interests.
Okay.
Only for the same government to turn around, having acquired the same land, and began to allocate to private individuals.
Okay.
It was at this point the landlords organized themselves and went to court, challenging their position in the first place. And your guess is as good as mine.
Because I was going to ask, can it be said that a state government encroached into a citizen's land? Somebody out there might say the state governments have got the express right to own a land in their domain. So what would you say in that regard?
Every land in every state, indeed, resides in the government, in the governor, administer on behalf of the states. But it has to be administered with fairness and equity.
Okay.
How does it sound that you take land from private Mr. A and hand over to private Mr. B? That is not recognized by the Land Use Act. that gives them the authority to administer the land on behalf of the people. The circumstance, the reason given to the landlord was the property was supposed to be used for overriding public interests. Going to the High Court, Court of Appeal, and ending up at the Supreme Court, for which the state government went back again to seek for interpretation of the said judgment, shows that the hands of the state government is not clean. They took over the property from the landlords and started allocating it to their cronies, associates, back into private hands. No public utility was it used for. On that basis, these landlords went to court. Their own state high court ruled against them, mandating the state government to, since they are reallocating the property to private individuals, that they should give preeminence, priority to these people the land was taken from in the first place, by giving them 549 plots.
Sounds like a fair deal.
This didn't go down well with the state government. They went to Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal upheld the judgment of the lower court, the High Court of Lagos State. They were not satisfied. They went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court upheld the judgment of the two lower courts. And 12 years down the line, the government had not yet implemented this judgment. Instead, they went back to the same court to ask court to interpret what it means by giving 549 plots to these original owners. They are just dancing around the government. The court rightly threw the application out that their judgment is not ambiguous, it is clear. However, advised them that they could seek settlement amicably out of court. And that is what they are trying to explore, to see if they can come to a dialogue, maybe a win-win situation.
Right.
A win-win situation. The message there is this, that anybody who had probably that the land has reverted back, 549 plots have reverted back to the original owners, might want to hurriedly go and buy from any of them. Is still risky because the government has not yet wholeheartedly accepted to implement the judgment. So if anybody tries to buy, it is still risky. So anyhow, people should hold their peace from both sides, not buying from any of the sides, until this settlement, the result of this settlement, is obvious and acceptable to the two parties.
Thank you so much for this clarification. Please, I would want to ask you before I let you go for the now, holistically, what would you say about the compensation process in Nigeria?
The truth is, most often, the compensation process takes a while. One, it protracts. It takes time in coming. You see private individuals losing their property to government acquisition, or for whatever reason the government is taking it. Sometimes more than a year. Sometimes it takes 2-3 years. The compensation hasn't been paid. And another thing is, when eventually paid, in most cases, does not equate the value that is taken from the original allotee or the original owner. Yes. If the property is actually taken for public purpose, overriding public interest, no matter how small the compensation is, the person whose property has been taken could look at the public utility. It could benefit him or her tomorrow. You could let go. Right. But it's more painful when you collect less than the value of your property and you see another private individual who is not more Nigerian than you making use of that property in private capacity. That's exactly what happened in the Shangisha case.
Thank you so much, Mr. Madueke Enwere, once again for your insight. I truly do appreciate it. And I believe our viewers out there, they are getting acquainted to stories like this. I look forward to having another conversation around these issues with you subsequently.
It would always be my pleasure to honor your invitation anytime call.
Thank you. Thank you. My dear friend, you heard it. A lot is going on in the real estate industry. I wouldn't want you to be a victim of these avoidable circumstances. Would you like to get similar updates on encumbered properties, disputed properties, or properties that are for any reason not available for sale? Then, subscribe to this channel now to stay updated. At encumberedproperties.com, the safety of your real estate investment is our priority. Till I come your way again, stay safe and stay out of troubled properties. I am Rex Chinedu Agwawike.